should I ride him at if he's relaxed in the neck and walk? Should I ride him and walk? Or
Well, I would try to push it around and catch it because your problem is you were pushing it, but there was no catch, right? And it's the catch that rounds the top of the horse if you have the horse even in the shoulders, right? So he was always doing this with his haunches. So you would push this and it would go that way and you weren't catching it. You were just saying no and he was going back the other way, right?
yeah,
Right, and that's partly he's talented.
yeah,
You know, that is one thing. If he were a weaker horse, you wouldn't have gotten away with it because they can't do it, right? A horse who's not capable or as capable, let's put it that way. So for me, he needs to learn where straight is because he doesn't know where it is. He's always doing this. This is why I started here.
yeah,
Be stable.
yeah.
Don't, because when the haunches go right, the weight goes on the left and vice versa. Right. Good.
Working on making that, like that snaky bend
Hmm.
still in a lateral.
Right. You got to be careful pushing him in shoulder in at all because his notion of shoulder in is to just slide sideways.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you have to, my exercises for this horse, if I were riding it, is counter shoulder into haunches into straight until you lose the haunches and then counter shoulder into haunches into straight. Because when you push the horse into shoulder in, right, the horse has to sit here, right? So if the horse is accustomed to doing it like this, then you'll never get this shoulder here because this hind is over there. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's just one of those things. So
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, so it's not that you don't do shoulder in, it's that you have to make sure that you have control of that outside hind whenever you want before you do it. And when you do it on the rail and real shallow. A circle and shoulder in is a bad idea for a horse that does what he does. Now, I've had horses where they hold their haunches in, right? They're always going with the haunches in a little bit. Then I wouldn't do counter shoulder in because that's not going to help me with my problem. I'm going to do shoulder in. So I tend to pick movements in the beginning when the horse has a defective idea that will retrain them. And the key is you have to get it right at least 60% of the time. 80's better, 90's better. So basically you can't allow the behavior or the position that you want to discourage, right? Because the cool thing about horses, they maybe can't reason, but you can take a habit and replace it with another one through repetition because they're not going to get hung up. But you can't let him do the other. Right, at all. And that's why I said, I would stay on the ground until the neck is relaxed. Once it's relaxed, then you ride it and it's more relaxed.
So